everyone, it's Lisa here with you today on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today I thought I would create a tag for you. So I'm going to create a mini slimline tag. We're going to use the Love Forever hot foil plate and its coordinating stencils. And the tag that I'm using today is the Celebrate Slimline, Mini Slimline tag. So I haven't used this yet. I don't make tags often, but I thought I would today. And I'm also going to embellish it with the Take a Bow set. So we're going to start off with our foiling. And so I've cut a piece of Nina Solar White Classic Crest 80-pound cardstock. I've put some matte gold foil down on top of that. I've cut it all to size and I'm just laying the Love Forever hot foil plate down on top. And I'm going to tape this in place. I'm just using some low tack tape just to make sure that my plate doesn't shift in the foiling process. My machine has been heating up whilst I've been preparing the stack here, so I'm just going to flip that over and now press the timer button and wait for that to stop. Once the timer button has stopped, it takes about a minute. I'm going to remove that platform and then run it through my die cutting machine. So I've brought that back to my desk, just peeling off those pieces of tape now. I've put the platform back into the base just in case I need to refoil. But as you can see here, I peel off the foil and I got a really good transfer first time. So now we're going to go ahead and do our stenciling. So I have put my white card panel onto a misty sticky mat. I have taped it in place as well. I'm just laying the first stencil down over the top and applying my lightest pink. This is the Sparkling Rose ink from Pinkfresh Studio, and I'm just going to go ahead now and apply that through the first stencil. And I do go ahead now and speed up all of the ink blending through the stencil process. There are 5 stencils. I've done this many times on this channel and others have too, so I'm sure that you're familiar with the process of working with layering stencils. So moving in now with my second stencil, and I'm applying my lightest yellow for the flowers around the outside, and this is an Altenew ink called Buttercream. So just making sure that I'm happy with the depth of colour on those flowers. And now I'm going to go in with my second darkest pink. This is Bubblegum from Pinkfresh Studio, and you can see already how beautiful this image is as it starts to come together. So moving on to the third stencil now, this is going to allow me to add a second colour to those leaves around the outside, and I'm using Warm Sunshine for that layer. And my third darkest pink is the Raspberry Bliss from Pinkfresh Studio. Moving on to the fourth stencil now. This is going to be the first layer of the leaves, and for this I'm using Pinkfresh Studio Grassy Knoll. So lots of areas there. There's some really small areas as well that you don't want to miss. So I just go round and round until I'm really happy with how vibrant that colour is looking. And then I go ahead and I place down that final stencil and add my second green, which is Key Lime. And then I go in with an even darker green, which is Olive, and I just add that in selected places just to add a little bit more depth and dimension to those leaves. So now that we've finished the stenciling, I've got the panel there in front of me, really happy with how that colour looks. And I've taken the Celebrate Mini Slimline tag die and I'm just moving that around my image just to see where I want to place it and die cut it. Now you could actually cut 2 tags from this image. I decide not to. I decide just to cut 1, but you can definitely cut 2 and that way you'll have less wastage. So just taping that down. And whilst I'm at it, I'm going to take the Celebrate word die and I'm going to tape that down as well and run that through my Gemini Junior. It's going to cut both of those at the same time. So I've gone ahead and I've done all my die cutting off camera. You can see there I've got the negative portion of the tag there, and we're going to use that to continue on with our tag in a moment. Next to that, you've got the positive that has come from that tag. You could definitely use that on another card. I'm not going to use that today. I've also cut 3 layers of white from the Celebrate die and 1 layer from white glitter cardstock. And I've also kept all of those little pieces there that you can see at the top of the screen. All of those pieces I'm going to use on my tag, and we're going to do a little bit of die cut inlay today. I've also cut a couple of white tags as well, and we're going to go ahead now and adhere that negative die piece onto a plain white tag die cut. So just applying my adhesive there, and I'm making sure to go around all of those sections. I don't want any of those coming loose once I adhere that down onto the tag, and I just tapped off any excess adhesive on the side there before I went ahead and placed that down. Okay, so now we're going to add our first layer of the plain white die cut. So just adding lots of dabs of glue around that, making sure I get all of the little edges there, tapping off the excess, and then I'm going to place that down. It slots in like you're doing a little jigsaw. It's really easy to position that in. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in all those tiny little pieces that I saved from the positive of the die cutting process earlier. So it's much easier to add tiny dabs of glue and pick these up with an embellishment wand. And I've also decided to do this after I've laid my first white die cut in place. I'm going to add some more layers on top, but it's easier to slot those tiny little bits in if you've only got 1 layer down. And now that I've popped those tiny little floral pieces back into the tag, you can really see those letters start to pop. So I'm now going to go ahead and add my 2 other layers of plain white cardstock. And this tag is going to have lots of dimensions. So I have 3 of the plain white, and then my final die cut is with the white glitter cardstock. And it looks really, really pretty in real life. The white glitter just looks so feminine against that gorgeous floral image with the foiling as well. I love the vibrant colours with the white die cut. I did toy with using the positive piece of the Celebrate die, the floral piece, and popping that back on top, but I decided against it on this occasion. So just finishing off there with the white glitter cardstock piece. And now I'm just going to add another tag die onto the back just to make sure that I've got a really clean back to my tag. It's time to add a little bit of ribbon to the tag, so I've just grabbed a piece of green and white ribbon from my stash, so just passing that through the tag die from front to back, and then I'm just going to take those tails through, and I do actually secure this in place with a little bit of glue as well, just to make sure that doesn't shift. Off camera, I die cut one of the bows from Take a Bow. I die cut it from white glitter cardstock, just popping some glue onto the back and popping that down over my ribbon. And I've also gone ahead and die cut the U die from the Celebrate Mini Slimline tag set. That's with black glitter cardstock. And I'm going to finish off by adding some gems. These are the Fairy Garden Meraki Sparkle gems. I add a few around the Celebrate word, and then I add one of the larger ones onto the bow at the top. So there we have the final tag. Really pretty. I love how this turned out. You can see there I've got the positive piece that I've kept that I am going to put onto another card. It's far too pretty to waste. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing that tag come together. Do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I will be back soon with another project for you. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.